Okay, so I am probably most people will not watch this video, but I'm making this video just because I like making videos. So I am Mueller-Hill, obviously. This is my YouTube channel. I am just going to make I like to call it chronology of all the video games on a WordPad document in order they were released. And I just made this video. Basically, I'm just going to talk about the games which I've played. Yeah. Okay, so this is Destroy All Humans. It's basically like basically it's like an alien invasion game. You play the alien, so yes, yes. I mean, when playing this game, I thought the hologram thing was kind of interesting. You could, like, disguise yourself as a police officer. Yeah, that was fun. I mean, game is, I guess the humor in this game is interesting. It's like interesting amount of crude humor in this game. They're all humans. Right. Wait, wait, wait. Wait, what? Why is it okay? Why does it look like a mirror? What the okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I just GoldenEye Rogue Agent. Yes, I have not played this game very much. So this I played like one level of this game once. I had a lot of trouble. I haven't played very many shooters in general, but this game I had a lot of trouble with it, probably because it was a shooter. Like I had trouble with the enemies constantly shooting me all the time. Yeah, it's kind of silly. Anyways, I died after one level, and I just used Game Shark. Too bad that doesn't really work on PS3 anymore. And then I just basically looked through all the levels, and I noticed there was like one of the levels had like Dr. No's lair, and I basically just like skipped to the final level. So I don't do very much. This game. Yes, Golden Rogue Agent. Yes. And yeah. And so also this is a Burnout 3 Takedown. So I played this game a lot when I was younger, but I have not. But lately I've not played it very much. So well, I mean, what to say about this game? It's fun. Obviously, you crash into other cars. All the different times that I played this game when I was younger just kind of combined in my mind into one long play session. I mean, yeah, it's fun. Yes, this game. I've never played it. I got this when my old PS2 broke. My dad got a new PS2 for me, so I got a new PS2. So this is going to be new things came from the new PS2. Like another game was also like I'm going to show later, Need for Speed, I believe, or something like that. That's another game which I might play. In general, it's been a long time since I played like car racing games. So yeah, this is kind of a kid's game. Scooby-Doo First Frights. Yeah. So this game I beat pretty much. This is one of the few these games where I've actually beaten this entire story, which is embarrassing because it's a kid's game. It's one of the few games that I've ever actually beaten. So yeah, in terms of story, I didn't unlock everything. I've always wanted to play a game and really unlock everything, completely beat it, but I've never done that for some reason. So yes. So the mysteries in this game, there was a lot more like most of the mysteries were just standard Scooby-Doo mysteries where there was no actual supernatural threat. But I remember the last mission, it was implied there'd be an actual supernatural threat, which I thought was interesting. I thought that was a good way to do it. I think in general that's a good way to do a Scooby-Doo story. You start off with some general Scooby-Doo threats, and then in the end you climax with a real supernatural threat. Like for example, like in the first Scooby-Doo movie. Sort of. Actually, kind of think that the first Scooby-Doo, live action movie. First Scooby-Doo live action movie. It, yeah. That movie had a lot of, like, that movie was just totally supernatural from the beginning, except for, like, one scene at the beginning where there was, like, general standard Scooby-Doo villain. It was just a guy in a mask, but mostly I was totally supernatural. I mean, a better example might be like, actually, I can't think of another example right now. Yeah, so this is a Lego Batman, the video game. Yes, this is another game I played a lot when I was younger. This is, I mean, I had a lot of fun solving the puzzles in this game and getting frustrated when I tried to solve the puzzles. And yeah, I just have so many fun memories of this game. I remember playing, the villain's story, like his Clayface. I was kind of disappointed that I couldn't actually like shapeshift or anything. I also didn't really like how Clayface was portrayed as being like really stupid with almost infantile. Yeah. Okay, wait a second. Oh shit. Has the microphone been off the whole time? Oh, no. Okay, that was stupid. It's like, what? Oh my god, I'm so new to this. Okay. I've been watching YouTube videos for a long time. So, yeah. So, yeah, so as I said, I'm making a chronology, so when there are pauses where I stop talking, that's because I'm actually putting the game into the computer, putting the date when it was released. And basically, I'm looking the game up in media and putting the date it was released in the computer. And this is all for the purpose of later actually playing them or on my PS2 and later PS3 games. I make a separate video for my PS3 games. Um, so I'm just putting them in the computer, like I said, so I can actually play them in the order they were released. Fun, sort of. So yeah. So Naruto Ultimate Ninja. Yeah. I'm just gonna put the date this was released. Computer, so just in a sec. Okay. Yeah. All right. All right. Now it's gonna take too much time to look it up and actually copy and paste the date into the WordPad document. Yeah, I'm just gonna put the actual dates into the WordPad document later. Right now, I'm just gonna talk about games. So yeah, this is another game I had a lot of fun with when I was younger. I'm gonna end up say that a lot throughout this video. It's a game I played a lot when I was younger. Yeah. So, in fact, looking at the next game here, I also played this one a lot when I was younger. We can talk about that too. This one, I mean, this is one of the few games where, because I actually made, I mean, sometimes sometimes when the game is challenging, that motivates me to overcome the challenge and defeat it. But more often when I was younger, and especially when I was younger, when I played these games like Naruto Ultimate Ninja, which I found difficult, I often did not continue to play them once I had trouble with them, which I really regret. But anyways, I'm just kind of always kind of proud of I think this game because this is one of the few games that I always had trouble with when I was a kid that I actually somehow managed to actually practice and practice until I got enough skill to actually beat this whole story mode of this game because I had so much trouble with the fights when I was younger. I never even got to the final boss fight in any of the different story modes like Naruto's mode, Sasuke's mode, yeah, all of those modes. I never even got to the final boss fight. Often I never even made it halfway for various reasons. Yeah. Man, I like I said before, I continue to say that this is a game I played a lot when I was younger. Right. Well, that's especially true more than any of the other games, which I have. Yeah, this looks like a reflection. I don't know how to somebody to toy with this or something so it actually looks like so you can actually see the cover properly and not reflected like this. I don't know. I'll just focus and try to see those settings. Okay, so anyways, whatever. So yeah, you can probably tell what game it is though just by looking at the cover. For those of you who know of the game, this is Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. of course, I'm saying the names of the games anyway. So yeah. And like I said before, this is another game. This is a game that I really played a lot when I was younger. In fact, the only game I can think of that I played when I was a kid more than this is the original Lego Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars 2, the original trilogy is. I mean, I just love Lego humor in general. This game is full of it. I mean, Harvard, or since this is one of those earlier Lego games, of course the characters didn't actually speak and were just like mute and just making Lego sounds. Instead of like Darth Vader telling Luke that he's his father, he just shows him like a picture of himself in Padme. It's like a honeymoon photo or something. So this is one of the games again I played a lot when I was a kid, but I don't actually have very clear memories of this as much as the first Lego Star Wars. I mean, I have clear memories. I found this to be a little more difficult than the first game. Like I remember having a lot of trouble with the episode 4 with part 4 with episode 4 of Lego. Yeah. So yes, and this is Star Wars Battlefront. Yeah. So I mean, this is another game again, which I played a lot when I was younger. This game, I mean, I remember how weird I thought it was, like how the classes they were available for each, faction often changed from battle to battle. Like I don't remember specifically exactly what the case was, but I think like in the first like in the campaign for like for the Republic or something, or the CIS, like yeah, for the CIS, like in the first like 2 or 3 battles in that campaign, um, the the regular just infantry kind of class was just the regular battle droid, but then like in later battles that was like the super battle droid. It's possible I may be getting confused with Star Wars Battlefront 2. Because I also remember how when I played Star Wars Battlefront 2, although I like that game in some ways better than this one, but one thing I always wish that I liked about this game, which Star Wars Battlefront 2 did not have, was that I really liked how all the different, well, first of all, I really liked how this game had Bespin. I thought it was really fun wandering around the Cloud City, and I really like. I've always thought it was really cool in Star Wars Battlefront games how they really get, when you're on like one of those planets, which isn't the array of the planet you're on isn't like so much the actual planet as like this giant floating fortress in the sky. I always thought that the developers did a really good job of showing you just how far off these fortresses were from the ground. Like I always thought it was terrifying for me to just look down. Yeah, sometimes I would even jump off just to see if I would see what the land actually looked like. Yes, Spider-Man 3. Yeah. Well, this like Naruto Ultimate Ninja. This is a game that I had a lot of trouble with initially, but I later actually manages to. Well, I actually didn't beat the entire story of this game, but I did come really close to beating the story though. I beat like the first battle of the 4 final battles with Sandman, and then but I found the second battle with Venom just be impossible. Like basically, I would start out the fight and I would have a fairly easy time hitting Venom and getting his health bar down a little bit while avoiding my health bar from decreasing too much. But then usually a few hits into the battle, well, every time in the second, well, the first of the 2 Venom battles, the second 4 final battles, you just suddenly got into this like the stronger mode. I don't think it had an official name or anything like that. I just found that impossible. Like no, I every time I fought him in that mode, I either didn't get any hits on him at all, no matter how many times I hit him, and never seemed to do damage, or he or sometimes I wasn't even able to hit him because he hit me and killed me in like maybe 5-6 hits. Although I did really, even though I never beat that battle, it was frustrating. I did really enjoy, however, I like the banter between Spider-Man and Venom in that battle. Yeah, so Spider-Man 3. Did I actually say the name of the game? I might have. Anyways, I'll know later on when I rewatch this video. Yeah. So, Yeah, I like the black suited Spider-Man mechanic in this game. I mean, I thought it was interesting how after the game ended, you could like collect all these spider symbols, and then you could use the power, without any repercussions for as long as you wanted, which I always thought was weird because I thought that doesn't that kind of break the ace off of the game in a way? Break the ace off. Anyway, because I mean the point is that the black suit in Spider-Man is that the power comes at the cost of all the anger and the rage, and all the and Venom's corrupting influence. So I mean, I just just giving the player the ability to wield all that power without any negative consequences. I mean, that's fun and that's cool, but like, doesn't that just kind of just it's like the developers just forgot that the whole point of Black Suited Spider-Man was to show that Spider-Man, at least in my opinion, that he was best as he was, with like, with not as much strength as Black Suited Spider-Man, but with more ethics, and more good, I mean, anyways, I don't know. I mean, this is a very favorite of the comics. Just let the player just play as Black Suited Spider-Man without any consequences. Anyways, whatever. I'm not going to say very much about this game. 007 Nightfire. I've never played this game at all. Featuring Pierce Brosnan as James Bond. Rendezvous with beautiful women and confront devious feelings. And see, this is how little I've even glanced at this game. I'm just now reading the back cover for the first time. Confront devious villains in more than 10 exotic locales. 12 action-packed missions combining combat, stealth, and upgradable gadgets. Engage in 5 high-speed levels with the Aston Martin V12, whatever that stands for, Vanquish, and other dynamic vehicles. Over 10 customizable multiplayer modes, including characters and settings from classic James Bond movies. Yeah, I've seen a few James Bond movies. Mostly I tried to watch it in order, but I gave up after the third one because I read the plot of the fourth one on Wikipedia and it did not seem that interesting to me. Although I really liked the first 3 though, especially Goldfinger and Dr. No. Promotion with Love was okay. Wasn't great. I don't quite agree with John F. Kennedy in terms of how much he liked the book. Alright. This game. No One Lives Forever. For a second, it's like, wait, is the title Who Wants to Live Forever? Yes, that's how long it's been since I played this game. I got the back cover tagline confused with the actual title. Oh, and I always forget that No One Lives Forever is actually a subtitle. The main title is the operative. But, since No One Lives Forever is in this really noticeable yellow font, and the operative is just in plain white font with a crosshair and an O, just not the No One Lives Forever. It's just more noticeable in the actual title. So, I know that there's a sequel to this game, which I've never played, and there's a Game of the Year edition, which I know has like an additional mission. Kate Archer goes to like an island base or something, which I've never played that. This is a game that this is like GoldenEye, except I played this game more, where I kind of had fun with it at first, but eventually got like too difficult for me. Well, specifically what happens is that when I first started playing this game several years ago, I had a lot of trouble with it, and so I just used cheat codes to skip to the end level, and I just did that. And then I watched the end cutscene after reading the plot on Wikipedia. Yeah. So, yeah. But then later on, I replayed this game, and I actually, I used a guide to help me, but I didn't just, I didn't let the guide just, so to speak, hold my hand and use it I didn't use it as a crutch. I just used it occasionally, but I mean, anyways, even with the guide though, in the second level, the second area, with Berlin, kind of ran into some trouble. It was East Berlin, right? Yes, East Berlin. Yes. Ran into this really weird glitch where I could not figure out. Like it seemed like instances where the barrette should work, but it did not actually. So I did not progress through the game without cheat codes. It's a fun game though. And yeah. So Lego Star Wars, the video game. Like I said, this is the ultimate game from my childhood. This is the game that I played the most. I remember playing the most because it was like the first video game I ever played, except possibly for Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Star Wars Battlefront. In any case, this was certainly the first like PS2 game. Actually, I'm trying to remember. I think I actually got Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the PS2 because I played it on the PC first. I think I got Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Lego Star Wars the video game for the PS2. I think I got them both at the same time. but I think I played this one first. My memory is a little hazy which one exactly I played first, but I'm pretty sure I played this one first. Anyways, like I said, I just have so many memories of playing this from my childhood. So, what to say? I mean, I remember having a lot of trouble when I was a kid with the opening space battle in episode 3. Dad helped me, drank soda while we beat the level together. Which, of course, that game was co-op, unlike many of the games I've played, and many video games in general. Uh, yeah. So, and also, I remember the Lego boss battles, a lot of fondness. I really liked them. They were really fun to play, especially the Darth Maul one. I just liked how much platforming, if that's not misusing that word, platforming that boss battle involved. I think that was really fun. I also liked the fact that there were a lot of kind of parts of the fight, where if you hadn't seen the movie, you might think that you're about to fight Darth Maul, but then Darth Maul suddenly jumps away to another area, and you have to continue using the platform to go after him. I've always thought that was kind of interesting to do a boss fight where you just spend most of the fight chasing the boss, then you don't actually fight him until the end. I think I like the reverse also, although I think that the reverse is where you're running for the boss the whole fight until the end. I think that's a little less fun, but more challenging. Um, just it's fun and challenging. So, Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, the video game. Although in this case, the video game is not an actual subtitle, just just an adjective to describe it. Actually, video games are now that I can using it as an adjective to describe this game. So, I remember having a lot. I remember having a lot of trouble with the part where you, in the early on, where you defeat the roommates. Yes, I've never made it very far through this game, into this game, even with cheat codes, because unfortunately, as I discovered when I used the guide, you can't really use the cheat codes to actually beaten certain parts of the game late in the game. Yeah, that's annoying. I mean, what's the point of cheat codes? You've already gone through the whole game. It's kind of like in Shadow of the Colossus, where you have to, where by the time you actually earn the most useful items unlocked, and it's like, well, there's pretty much nothing else you do in the fight. Once you earn all the items, there's nothing to do with them besides use them to battle Colossi, but like you've already done that, so yeah. Several times if you actually, which I have not, but anyway. Yes. Spider-Man Friend Effect. Most of those other games, except for like Burnout Takedown, which I said earlier that I played a lot when I was a kid, I have also played them recently. But this is one of those games that I played a lot when I was a kid, but it's been a long time since I ever played it. I still have lots of fond memories of this, though. I remember that before I even got this game, my dad showed me a trailer for this game, which made it look really cool and interesting. Yes. So I really like the Friend Effect thing. It's the only thing I was really disappointed when I played the game. They discovered that despite what the cover suggests, you can only fight with one sidekick at a time. I mean, I realized if you could fight with as many as you wanted, or up to like 3, that would be way too overpowered. Because until late in the game, all of the enemies you face. So come to think of it, even very late in the game, pretty much all of the enemies you face, except for like literally even in the final mission, like even pretty much all the enemies you face, except for the bosses, are just very easy if you if you just keep on attacking without relentlessly. The bosses require special strategies, but the regular enemies, the henchmen, those weird creatures, which I cannot remember their names at the moment. So although I have played Gran Turismo 3, I have never played this game. This is another one of those games that came with the new PS2 I got. So yeah, not really anything to say about this game. Okay. So, this is another game, which I'm going to put away shortly because I've never played it at all. So, yeah, I've actually played this one briefly, come to think of it. But I never got beyond the initial. I think there's a part where there's like a store where you buy car parts or something. Yes, I never got very far in this game. I just kind of lost interest. And then when I was younger, I used to have tons of fun with car racing games, but I mean, I don't know. I still think they're okay, but I just don't. I mean, with all the other games I've played, I just don't. It's kind of hard for car games really, so to speak, hold my attention. I just find it really boring compared to other games. It's kind of like how vanilla is a great ice cream flavor on its own, but if you compare it to most other ice cream flavors, or like the Elder Scrolls Oblivion versus most other Elder Scrolls games, and it's like Oblivion is a great Elder Scrolls game on its own, but if you compare it to like pretty much any other Elder Scrolls game, even like the mobile phone games or the spin-offs, it suddenly seems way more boring than any. But it's still a good game on its own. Already lost in comparison. Yeah. So, yes. Naruto Uzumaki Chronicles. Yeah. Now, when I was a kid, and there's still a part of me that does, I absolutely hated this because of how difficult it is. I mean, God, this is like Star Wars Episode 3, the game. The boss fights in this game are just so, like, ridiculously difficult. Like, I mean, they are for a kid like me, and they were for a kid like me anyway. I mean, their requirements, like, this is very clearly, I mean, although Naruto has a pretty big adult audience, especially since Shippuden, this game is pretty clearly marketed towards kids. I mean, all this is like, be the hero, live the adventure. Okay, maybe that's not so much kid marketing, but still, though, it just seems like it's kids. I mean, I just like the boss fights. They're way too difficult, I think, for most kids. The age it's marketed to. Anyways, the boss fights in this game require way more use of way more strategy, and and being careful and all that than most of the other games that I played when I was a kid. At least in the Ultimate Ninja games, though the boss fights could sometimes be tough, they were almost ridiculously simple. It was just, you kept pounding them, and you occasionally used special abilities, and you maybe used an item, and that was it. You didn't have to use real strategy, for the most part. But like in Uzumaki Chronicles, it's just, okay, wait, now, no, okay, I do not hate having to use strategy or challenge in games. In fact, playing this game now, I don't hate it so much. But when I was a kid, I just had a problem with games. I was pretty foolish and lazy in some ways. So, I still am. So, when I was a kid, I tended to hate games which really required me to actually, mentally exert myself like this. I don't know. Some people probably disagree, but man, especially that boss fight with Neji and even Choji. You have to be really careful not to be hit by his, giant, fat ball. I cannot remember the actual name for this jutsu. Anyways, yeah, I had so much trouble with that fight because I often never got out of the way of his ball in time. Yeah. Yeah, that's not to mention Neji's, what was it, like, what was that move he always did? He still has variations on this move and it appears fairly frequent. Sure. He stood for a while like that, like triangles and palms move. Okay, look that up. How many games are left? Yeah. Bring all these games up in a big box. If you want to carry them, huh? So, Gran Turismo 3. Excessively technical, meticulously refined, viciously fast, a fervent arcade mode with blinding speeds, a passionately customizable simulation mode. You've never seen anything this souped up. Yeah, so this is not like James Bond where I'm reading the back cover for the first time. It felt like, yeah, but this is actually a game that I played a lot when I was younger, like I said before. So yeah. Like Burnout, the many, 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 many times that I've played this game, it's always one long play session now, like I said. Really though, what really interested me about this game when I was younger was that I really liked all the different. I really liked the way you can customize your car. And I like the fact that that you could upgrade vehicles besides cars like trucks, and some that. And I felt glad that you could do that, while simultaneously being really pissed that I never actually got far enough or was good enough for this game to actually unlock anything. But yeah, that's about it. Okay. Ah, yes, Shrek 2. Yeah, I keep saying just yeah a lot. Okay, so Shrek 2 is. I mean, it's a game. It's like Spider-Man Friend or Foe, except it's been even longer since I played it. Yeah, I mean, I used to play this game a lot when I was younger, but I mean, I first learned about this game when I was in California. I visited some friend's house, some older friend. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So, I remember first mainly two things about this game. Well, actually, three things, right? Number one, I remember all the puzzle solving. Number two, I remember the really difficult, like, Puss in Boots boss fight, which I never got past, so I never got too far in this game. Yeah, I have to say, this is one of those games where each level really feels, at least for me, each level as a kid felt pretty long. I mean, each area really felt fleshed out. Like it really felt like the developers spent a fair amount of time making each area challenging and somewhat fun. I remember, I mean, it's like, it's like in the game you spend so much time just getting to far, far. I believe the kingdom is called Far, Far Away, isn't it? I can't quite remember. I believe it is though. Called Far, Far Away. Like in the game, you spend so much time getting to Far, Far Away. It's like it could, if a player plays video games, especially slowly, it could take like maybe even, days just to get to Far, Far Away. That's how long the levels leading to it are. Where it's like, obviously in the movie, it is not what maybe 10, 20 minutes, or maybe like 10, 20 minutes of the movie before the characters arrive in Far, Far Away, possibly. But yeah, I mean, it's like in the video game, so much happens before they even enter the spooky forest. Which is I mean, they have all sorts of escapades and stuff, which are not in the movie at all. Like they have to avoid getting eaten by crocodiles. Yeah, so you have to avoid. You get trapped in cages at one point. You have to fight like fairies and use spells to stop time. Yeah, I think I said I remember three things about that game. Shrek 2, but I only said two things. So, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I like the Grand Theft Auto series, but I've never played very much of it. I do not really know why. Mostly because I played Vice City multiple times and I liked it, but I just did not get very far in it. I couldn't really say why. I don't know. But I've never played San Andreas at all, though. Rockstar Games presents a Rockstar North game. If I remember correctly, Rockstar North used to be its own company, didn't it? Not called Rockstar North, it was called something else. That eventually became part of Rockstar and it started calling itself Rockstar North. Yes, I think it was the case. Okay, I'm really just guessing here. I have no idea if this is actually true or not, but I think possibly Rockstar North used to be the company that originally produced the first two Grand Theft Auto games. I might be completely wrong, but I think that might be the case. Anyways, ah, this is the only game that I played when I was a kid that comes close in my mind, that I have as many memories of, that comes close in my mind, having as many memories of it as Lego Star Wars. Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith video game. Again, unlike Lego Star Wars, where I beat the whole game and played through it many, many times, because it's pretty. In this game, I did not even get past the first boss fight as a kid. Later on, I got to the second boss fight, but never got past that. Then, of course, I used cheat codes to base, and unlike pretty much every other game I mentioned where I used cheat codes, in those other games I just skipped to the end where, when I used cheat codes. But in this game, I actually use the cheat codes to literally play through the entire game. Yes, this is a fun game. I really when I was a kid. Mm, the graphics seem really cool to me for some reason. They really amaze me. I mean, that's probably because at that time I hadn't really played anything with Lego Star Wars and some Star Wars Battlefront, so I wasn't used to that. All right, how many games are left now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Around 9. I'm not sure exactly because some of these games in the background are actual cases, but they're really small disc boxes that kind of blend together, sort of. Anyways, make much sense. Okay, Harry Potter Goblet of Fire. Okay, I know nothing about this game beyond the movie and book, and I'm not going to start talking about that right now. So, okay. I've read the whole book, but I'm supposed to figure it out. Grand Theft Auto. Just I have this loose pile I made here, starting to fall apart. But I just noticed there's a very noticeable glare. Yeah. It's trying to think of it. That looks rather odd. Not that I noticed it. I can't believe it took this long to notice it. Anyways, how long has this been broadcasting? Wait, broadcasting? Why am I saying? Actually, is it broad? I mean, yeah, I guess it is technically broadcasting, right? As opposed to narrowcasting. But that's not a joke. There's actually a technical term, narrowcasting. I'm sure. Yeah, this is broadcasting. Casting, it's a broad range of people could potentially view this video. I guess it is broadcasting, sort of. Yeah. I know at the very least, I know anyone from the U.S. could view this video while it's live. I don't know if there's like a separate YouTube for different countries or different continents, or if anyone. I think no, actually no. Yeah, now that I think about there's just one YouTube for every country and every continent on the site. So yeah, anyone in the world right now could tune into this video. I don't know they would, but okay. Welcome to the 1980s. Yeah, I'm not gonna read the whole back up this time. All right. Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Yeah. So, what to say about this game? I don't know if that's what I said. What to say? 2, 3 times, maybe. I don't know. Anyways. Yeah. So. This yeah. Just staring at the cover. Oh yeah, right. I'm supposed to be talking about this game. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I remember like Pastor Richards. He's a minor character in this, isn't he? I remember enjoying listening to radio broadcasts in this game. Like I said, I did not get very far in this game, but I enjoyed it immensely. It's where I learned the slang term threads. Yeah. Cool. Slang term threads. Yeah. Jack 2. Yeah. I never played the first Jack. But the first Jack game, what is it called? I can't even remember. Doesn't the first Jack, there's all these really two evil guys? Anyways, I think maybe it's a guy and a girl. This is a game where I had some fun with it, but I never got very far in it. I just had problems with it. Specifically, for a long time, I never got past the opening scene. Like, I never even escaped the initial area where Jack has been captured. And then, eventually, later on, I played the game, and I actually got through that area. But then, once I did that, I mean, I just kind of gave up because I just had trouble. I remember at the time I had trouble with the map for some reason. I don't really go on. Yeah. Anyways, I don't understand the storyline. Okay. And these are all just my first 2 games. Like I said, I'm making another video showing Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. Okay. Because I'm not going to just talk about Quidditch. So I've never played this game at all. Okay. When I've never played a game at all, it's generally because I have this thing of playing games in a certain order. Like, for example, I tried to play all the Harry Potter games I got in order that, well, just in the order that I felt like playing them. And I always felt like doing Chamber of Secrets first, and then Chamber of Secrets games on the show, and then doing Prisoner of Azkaban, and then Goblet of Fire, and then Quidditch World Cup. But since I never got past Prisoner of Azkaban, I remember in that game I got so I'm sorry about that one. I just never played Goblet of Fire at all, or Quidditch World Cup. So in general, if I say that I haven't played a game at all, it's because there were just other games that I decided to play first. But I never finished those games, so I never got to play that game. By finished, I mean finished them in the story mode. As opposed to trying to beat everything in the game. Alright, so Star Wars Battlefront 2. Well, this game was fun. Yeah. thought it was interesting. Yeah, I would say interesting often. I mean, I played as Yoda. I really liked how, and now I don't know, playing this game, Yoda doesn't seem so awesome when I play as him, the Kashyyyk mission, but when I initially played this game when I was younger, I really liked the feeling of playing Yoda. I really liked how most of the time Yoda was so short that when you were running around in Kashyyyk through the grass, it was like you could barely see him. That's even more true on Dagobah. I think you say that. Yeah, it's Dagobah. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. Okay, yeah. So and I liked how powerful it was, despite the fact that it was so small that you could barely even see his head in the grass. It's kind of cliche. It's, yeah. That part, I just realized part of this cover is misleading. I mean, back cover. Because it shows, like, I don't know, there's some way I can clearly show this. Anyways, um, I don't know, the cover is odd here because it shows, like, the volcano, but then it shows the stormtroopers just walking around on the surface of Mustafar. And you never do that in the actual game. In the entire game, the whole land Mustafar area is completely this whole base, which is on Mustafar. You never just walk like on the land next to the lava like that. I mean, it's kind of obvious that it's not actually in the game because although the troopers look like they could actually be in the game, that volcano is really obviously just art and not actually a screenshot. But still, it is misleading. I never actually noticed that one. Yeah. All right. Really close to the end here. Well, sort of. This is the last actual case. Now I'll just be these weird disc envelopes, which I found from GameStop. All right. Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness. Played this one a very tiny amount of it when I was really young. Nothing to say about this game. I know this was like one of the last games of like the developer of Tomb Raider before they got a different developer because this game wasn't very popular for some reason. Bugs maybe. I don't know. Anyways, okay, cool. Yes, it said disc envelopes. Harry Potter and the Prison of Azkaban. Right. I mentioned earlier I did not get very far in this game. Yes, I did the initial mission with the Dementors on the train. And then I just got in trouble. I had a lot of trouble though because I think what happened was Fred and George asked me to get a map for them or something. I don't remember. It may have been the Marauders map. I don't know. I think it's odd that if it was the Marauders map, that game was not very faithful to the books because it takes longer than that for Harry to find them, for Fred and George to give Harry the Marauders map. It's not like right after he defeats the Mentors and gets to Hogwarts, in the book. And anyways, I just couldn't. There was like a platforming thing I can't remember. I just had trouble with that, so I never got very far in this game. Yeah. This does not have a disc in it because it's actually currently my PS2. Although I haven't played it in a while because I've been playing PS3 recently. Yes, so this is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Yeah. Yes. This is right. Well, I just keep on pausing and I say filler words and I write. Makes you critical. Anyways, yeah. Unlike Prisoner of Azkaban, I actually beat this whole game. I mean, I did not, unfortunately, win the House Cup, and I'm still not really sure what the best way to do that is. But I believe you lose. I don't think. Do you actually lose house points being caught by the prefects? I don't think so. Once you do the retcon thing, I really like the TV tropes. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun with this game, mostly because of the puzzle solving. I liked how there were a lot of additional platforming sections in this game that were really obviously just put in there to add time, to lengthen the game because stuff that wasn't in the movie at all. Like Lockhart asking you to get all the materials or something for your spell book, new spell for your spell book. Yes, I know they did the same kind of thing with Professor Quirrell in the first Harry Potter game because I watched a video on YouTube even though I never actually played that game or had it. That is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone. Yeah. I wonder if anyone at all is watching this video right now. Oh yes, right, of course. 0 viewers. Right, well I've never made a video on YouTube before. I just kind of made this video live because I felt like it. much, which is something I say for a long time because I felt like it. I'm like, why did you start jumping on the table? Because I felt like it. Yes, that was when I was like kindergarten. Okay, no, just kidding. It was actually this year. Yeah, I'm so embarrassed to admit that. Yeah, me and some of my friends just kind of started. I can't remember exactly why. Maybe it was some like contest we were doing. I don't know. We started jumping on the seats. We started jumping on the table, and then these police officers accosted us, and they were like, "No." And they're like, "What's going on? Why were you guys doing that? It's like your shoes are getting on this, seat where people actually sit and eat their food. That's not sanitary or something." Which I agree with, I guess. But I mean, now it's just like, actually, I didn't say it because I felt like it. That's what I was thinking. No, when I said, there was actually another time I actually said because I felt like it. Yeah. Anyways, I wonder if I'm ever going to get any comments on this video, if anyone's ever going to watch it. I probably should not hold my breath. I imagine sometimes someone will just randomly stumble across this video and find it, but probably I'm not going to get any videos while I'm actually making this video. So, yeah. Okay, so this is Scooby-Doo Unmasked. This is a relatively fun Scooby-Doo game. Finally, I thought of something new, a new adjective to use when describing games. Relatively, yes. Okay. So again, I did not get very far in this game. I remember I had a lot of fun with it, but I eventually got to the first boss battle where you have to fight this this guy I know who appeared in like the original Scooby-Doo. Who are you? Scooby-Doo, who are you? Scooby-Doo, where are you? I cannot remember his name. Was it Zen Chuo? Possibly. I know it was a guy who was supposed to be Chinese, or a Chinese ghost or something like that. Yes. It was the main villain of the not of the game, but he was the main villain of the area I was in. And I got through several levels, but I just could not figure out. I know I was supposed to. I remember specifically, I was supposed to use a kung fu strike on him, but I never really figured out how to do that and actually, use it correctly. So, yeah. Did not get too far in that game, but I got further than like Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. All right, Spider-Man 2. Somewhat counterintuitively, I actually bought these games in reverse or played these games in reverse order. Like first I played Spider-Man 3, and then I played like Spider-Man 2, and then I played Spider-Man. Okay, so I just lied for no reason. I actually played Spider-Man 3, but then I played Spider-Man, and then I played Spider-Man. Well, Spider-Man 2, I think the only other game here now is the original Spider-Man. If I'm correct, I believe. Yes. This was coming out of the envelope for some reason. Okay, well, so was Spider-Man 2 for that matter. Well, I'm just going to talk about these at the same time, since they're the only two games I've left, and they're both in the same series. Yes. Now, I've never seen the reboot. Okay, no, I'm not going to talk about Spider-Man movies right now. Okay, so Spider-Man, first Spider-Man game. I forgot to mention this for Spider-Man 3, but in all three of the Spider-Man games, I really enjoyed like Bruce Campbell's narration. Even though I've never seen any of his movies, whatever, I really enjoy his narration in his games. I liked in his first game, the tutorial session, he's like, "Hang on, I've got to start teaching you for a second. I've got to eat a beef and pork sandwich," or something like that. He actually hears me, like, okay, now you can hear his mouth full. His mouth is full for something. Other than that, there's not much to say about Spider-Man. I found it rather difficult. I actually managed to beat the first boss eventually, but then I got fed up on it. This is one of those games which I just had a lot of trouble with because you can't save because you can't save whenever you want. You can only save when you encounter autosave points which appear very infrequently. Is infrequently a word? I hope so. I'll look it up after this video is over. Too long? Okay. So yeah. So this game is once again I'm just like this game is and I mean like I said, after I defeated like the leader of the Skull Gang, Spike. Yeah. His hair like Billy Idol. Oh wait, long Spike. Wait, that was the guy's name. That was the name of the guy who Spike's hair was similar to, right? Was it Billy Idol? I think so. Maybe not. I might be confused. Anyways. Okay. Spider-Man 2. Yeah. I actually had more fun with this game than the first Spider-Man. I remember I had fun with the Rhino. I found this game to be relatively challenging, but not that challenging. I mean, Mysterio, I really like the Mysterio boss fight. You know, both the one where he's like Quentin Beck and the ones where the one where he's actually Mysterio. You know, I especially like all the duplicate Spider-Man we had to fight. It reminded me of like Spider Side. Weird mutant Spider-Man. Yeah, so that's about it actually. Yeah, this video is gonna end soon to my regret because I mostly made this video not only because I felt like it, as I said earlier in this video, but also because I was bored and I was trying to find something to do. So, no viewers at this point. So, yeah, 0 viewers. Still alive though. Okay. Yeah, that's right. I don't think has this video even been broadcasting for 1 hour. Anyways, probably not. Okay. So I said early on in this video I was gonna make a chronology list, but I decided not to because it would just take too much time and narrations. I would just cut this video to be even longer than it is, which isn't always a bad thing, but in this case it would be. All right, so yeah, this is Mueller-Hill. Goodbye, internet.